Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
So honestly, this I'm glad you said, as far as like talking about you being gone first, kind of leads into this, is the fact of how hard it was to stay away from social media. I legit kind of had to almost reroute my entire couple of days on like just how I did things, because surfing the internet in any fashion, both of our algorithm is full of Sleep Token.
Yep, and rightfully so, because it's in our ears so much, and it's so much about like what we do with our daily thing.
100%. So you were actually lucky. I don't mean lucky, but that you were like fucking busy with work.
Right.
You probably barely had time to really even look at social media, let alone try to spoil it. So I had to like fucking do all the things other than be on any social media.
It was almost kind of like you had to be like cold turkey, and almost in kind of a way where it's like, nah, man, like anything could trip me up at all, you know?
Dude.
Yeah.
Exactly, because I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go live, listen to some music. We're going to listen to some Sleep Token, blah, blah, blah. I opened up TikTok to go live. Immediately, the first thing was Sleep Token's TikTok, their actual account, getting ready to play.
Wonderful marketing.
Yeah.
They're amazing marketing.
Getting ready to play. I'm like, no, I almost threw my phone. Just break it. Fuck it. I don't care.
I won't lie, dude. I had a toilet moment, you know, because I scroll TikTok. You know, that's my toilet time is TikTok time, you know, and I just remember seeing what was really fucked up was that Emergence popped up first. And I went, oh, yeah, the new art. That's awesome. Sweet. Went through a couple, and immediately I heard the little pings, which at the time had no idea what that was or whatever. But I literally went, no! and just like, scooted past it.
Yeah.
And that was the moment that I remembered. I'm like, oh, that's fucking right. Like they dropped, and now this is taking over the world. Like this is literally the entire world is loving what's going on with this band. In my opinion, like it's
100%
like per capita kind of a thing. Like they've done such a fantastic job of just staying true to themselves, and you know we get to experience it. But regardless, it's like getting to be a part of a situation where it's like we had no freedom really whatsoever, and I found that like my downtime moments were just filled with anxiety and just like being like, oh my God, like number one, I want to get home, you know? It's just like, it's that whole thing. By this point, it's like, 3 days into the trip, I'm like, I'm done. It's like, I'm ready to be on the plane, things like that. But we had things that we still had to do, as we do every year. And it was so hard to think about a Sleep Token song being out there and I'm not allowed to listen to it.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucked so hard, like in so many ways.
That's what I think. This was probably the worst one. We've had moments, or we've had times where we had to like wait on something or whatever it is, and it kind of sucked. But it wasn't this big, and I don't think for that long.
No.
And what I will say is that we had such success on really not getting anything spoiled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was really worried. Now, come to find out, I think it kind of did inadvertently, and I didn't realize it at the time, because I know I saw something about being doxxed, and I thought they were just talking about the whole thing when they had like released somebody's like birth certificate or whatever they had said or whatever. I thought they were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. So I let it go, and then we heard the song.
And it all came together.
And I was like, oh, so then I kind of did get something spoiled, but I didn't realize it though at the time.
No, well, it's because I know what I saw was, I think it was on the Sleep Token page that we follow on Facebook. I think because it was the idea of saying, God, how did they word it? They said it was something to the effect of, for any Sleep Token fan that Caramel is about, sincerely fuck you.
Oh,
and it was so I knew that it was like maybe there was going to be like, it was about toxic fans. I thought maybe there was going to be like a line or something that would be said. I did not realize that this entire song was going to be the message of, I think we talked about it the other day, was that it's like, no, man, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed.
That's, dude, like I hate knowing that it's like, man, like that Vessel's going through that, you know,
Yeah.
and he's never been, I wouldn't say like, not that he's not been open with us, but the fact that he's opening up, like the man himself, the man behind Vessel is opening up and is being real with us, as real as he has been whenever he has been in his theatric of sleep, and has been like, nah, man, you need to knock it off. Like, please stop. Like stick to me.
Yeah.
Stick with me through this. Like, it's like he doesn't want them to leave, but it's like that idea of like, damn, dude, like, do you realize what you're doing to this guy? Like, come on, like that's not okay.
Everybody needs to apologize to this man right now.
Yeah,
We all owe him. Everybody apologize right fucking now.
yeah.
And first of all, and second of all, people have been like, has it been on repeat for you? Because it is a phenomenal song.
It's incredible.
But no, it has not. And I will tell you why. I'm embarrassed. I'm like ashamed. And I know that this sounds weird to say as a grown man talking about a musician or a band.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, where it's like, I'm ashamed and because now while I am not directly part of like that song in a sense of like the situation, but I'm just ashamed to hear the situation that he had to take time from his job, his lore, his whatever it is to address something. And that upsets me.
Yeah.
That, like you said, we let him down.
Yeah.
As a collective, as a whole. So I've listened to it a few times, but basically when we recorded, when I edited it, and then maybe like once or twice on TikTok, and because like I feel ashamed, you know, and like I know that sounds silly, guys, but like that's the truth. Like I don't want to hear it yet.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it. Yeah, I'm not ready. I don't like that because of, like I said, we were saying like what we did to the man, you know, and not like you said, the theatrics and things.
Well, and I think that this is honestly something that we should communicate with them too, is that, you know, for people that are newer to us, is that, you know, we have hung on to the mystery of Sleep Token for as long as we could. And there were some situations that both of us ran into where we had some things spoiled. I think that's the safest way that we can say that.
Sure.
And I remember thinking to myself, damn, like, once you know, like it I don't want to say it cheapens anything that Vessel does. I'm not saying that by any means, but it's just, man, like I wish I was still living in a world where I didn't know. I wish I was still just having the theatric thing of like looking at Vessel and thinking to myself, man, like this Pan's Labyrinth looking creature has this wonderful voice.
Yeah.
But I know who the man is. And that really, it takes away a lot of the magic. Now, it does not take away the impact or the realism of what he's written, or like, you know, how everything's come together. But damn it, guys, like this is such a thing for our culture where it's like, you know, like all it can make me think of is like Kiss. Like when Kiss finally took their makeup off and they finally showed what they looked like. Like this is us emulating that now in our culture with something that is mind-blowingly good and way better than any band has done so far with their marketing and with their ability to connect with fans and to be able to be multi-genred and give Ronnie a run for his money. Are you fucking shitting me? You're spoiling this shit?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, dude? No, dude, fuck them, man. That's not okay. Like, you know, and it's just like, damn, like this guy is real, but dude, like his facade is so important to what he does.
Right.
And I think that's why it bothers me so much.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's why like, no, I haven't listened to Caramel that much because it like I said, it upsets me. And we talked a few times on the live, and I don't ever mean it to sound like I'm saying that him or they are pompous by any means, but I was like, I can guarantee you in a sense, everybody sat down and it was laid on the table, guys, we're going to be big. Like, we're going to be big. This is going to be a thing. They are like the biggest thing in the world right now.
Yeah.
Arguably the biggest thing in the music world right now. I don't think they realized it was going to be this big.
No. How could you?
No, right.
How could you know that you are leading the next big thing? Like,
right. Because I joked where it was the fact of Vessel probably was like, guys, we'll probably never have to worry about money again, blah, blah, blah. Like, these will take off. No, not like this. Bro, they literally sold out Cleveland's 20,000 seats in a matter of like less than an hour.
Yep, the entire what was it? They said the entire country, I think, was sold out like in a day or two or something. Like it was
wild.
It was even if it's like less than a week, that is still incredible. That every single arena in North America has none left. Sorry, I'm out, dude. I got nothing left.
I got nothing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but no, and so that being said. Again, going back to this new song, it's like, like he said, like him almost having that vision and stuff. Like, he had like you said, he had this goal where it's like, dude, you're ruining this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I really hope that this new album or albums is somebody. We were talking that if it's a double album. What if one album is The Other Side?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't. Like, as much as like, I don't know, I would say I would like that. I wouldn't want that because no, I can't take that kind of hurt on top of this.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
Bro, he's been through enough.
Yeah.
Can we just let this dude get his beautiful music and lyrics out? Without him having another fucking hurdle so bad that like this probably takes up so much of his time now on getting things probably not only scrubbed, but also just in general on a day-to-day basis, can't do shit, can't go anywhere, doesn't want to because of whatever.
Yeah.
This is now literally bigger than them, I feel like, and not in a good way on this kind of scenario.
Well, I think that it's calming in a way to know that somebody that's at the top like he is, and I'm not taking anything away from 2, 3, and 4, but it's like we're focusing on the person that's at hand here with this song. I mean, it's completely him, pouring himself out. And my thought with this is that it's like dude, like he has given so much of himself to us.
Right.
And it's honestly, it's like, I don't mean to keep quoting this, but like, I think it genuinely is that it's similar to what Troy Baker said about Joel and Ellie, was that he's like, when you have the consequences that you have with part 2, that it's like, dude, like these are people that have held these characters so close to their hearts for so long.
Right.
And that's something that it's like, he's allowed us to take these delicate, terrible, monumental mindfuck thoughts that he gives us in every single way and just trusted us with it.
And we fucked it up.
And we fucked it up. We fucked it up big time. And it's like, it's made me wonder about like whenever I've talked with people personally, because I think that it's safe to say that there's a higher percentage of people that we know within our 150 that knows who Vessel is.
Right.
But there are still a couple of people that are like, don't even talk about Sleep Token around me. It's like, it's like that type of thing. Like, I don't want it ruined. This is my thing, like that type of thing, so, but it's just like, dude, like how, I don't understand how someone can be so disrespectful or be so airheaded with it, or like
vindictive.
Again, now, I think that there's also, I don't want to shit on the people that genuinely made a mistake if they did it or didn't know, or like, I get it. Things happen. I've looked like an ass many times in my life, or have made some or said some things I didn't understand what the weight of it was. But it's just like, dude, like as a fan base, we've all been through so much in our lives. Like, shouldn't we be able to band together?
Yeah,
like come together. Like that's my pedestal. For the time being,
You're absolutely right. And I almost feel like, and guys, I don't know. See, this is actually where I'm at with it now. Like even how we were just talking and trying to be kind of coded, I almost feel like I don't even ever want to do that anymore because I feel like that's still me being part of the problem.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
And so it's like,
I think this is going to be a very special episode where we're going to this is the closest that we will ever get.
Of course.
Until it becomes common knowledge.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But it's just the fact of like, I almost still feel bad now. And because we always kind of put it in the fact of people that have known, it's that you either talk in person with other said people, and it's like Fight Club. You don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, like if you know, you know. Mm-hmm. Let it be. Shut the fuck up. Like you said, don't ruin this. Mm-hmm. You ruined this. You talked about Fight Club.
Yeah.
Like, so.
I was saying, because what does he say? Where he's like, he's like a whole lot of new faces, which means that you got all of you been breaking the first two rules of Fight Club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, so like even like the new song, like so going back to guys to the fact of that I haven't listened to it a lot. It took me a second. The first hear through, I legit thought, there was a little bit of both in here.
Of the lore. And
like lore and things like that. So that being said, after I had done some editing and then actually listening to on TikTok and, discussing with some fans sorry, not fans. Yeah, fans of, Sleep Token. It was, no, this is legit just the fourth wall break right here.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, man, I don't want to listen to this. But and just the fact of, because it almost, you can kind of put it with that at first until I think you realize what the song is. Yeah. When you get into verse 2.
I think it's the misunderstanding that I was having is looking at things like, they can sing the words while I cry into the bass line, or wear me out like Prada, devil in my detail. I love that play on words there. But like, it was kind of like, okay, like, no, this is a standard Sleep Token song. You were describing what this relationship is like. It's like there's things that apply, I think, to romantic relationships in this entire first verse. But it's interesting that when you get to the chorus, it's like, so stick to me.
Yeah.
Stay with me. Which a part of me at first, I was like, oh, okay, so he's in the cycle. He's asking Sleep to stay.
Yes, exactly.
No.
Right.
No, dude, it all it takes is the second verse to do everything that it needs to be like, nah, man, you're looking in a mirror right now. That type of thing.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it took me that little bit of time until, going back through, because like I said, once you do hear that second verse, everything comes into play full circle. And isn't it interesting? This is why I will always believe that all of these albums and this lore and this more than likely true story that we're getting, I would say.
If it's not true, dude, it has been thought through every way.
Oh, yeah. But that there's more than just one thing with these lyrics, like with his lore. Like I think there's a multitude or multiple things as far as like what his lyrics mean. He's so good at writing lyrics and using words. Now, the fact that he uses not uncommon words or even big words, but he uses very interesting words.
His words do a lot of weightlifting for you to take you very far.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's like, well, it could mean this, but like maybe he also means that. Like it's weird how he's able to put it all together like that.
Yeah.
So that's why literally hearing this song kind of, I guess kind of like put the nail in the coffin for me on the fact of that, like there's no way that this lore doesn't have multiple underlinings with it.
Sure. Yeah.
So but either way, the new song is good. I just have a hard time, like I said, listening to it, and for I think good reason. It will definitely be a repeater for me.
Yeah.
Because did you get this feel of like a new groove with Sleep Token on this song?
Yeah.
Like as far as like sounds and everything.
I think that honestly it's a sound that is way too familiar to me, but I think that it's the fact that they're doing it very well is that this had many different elements in it. Is that when you listen to it, I know one of the things that Crystal and I said was that it kind of sounds like an Ed Sheeran song. It's got like Shape of You. It's got it's got Bad Habits. Like there's these different elements and things that I think that is a part of a grander plan here of the fact that it's like, again, maybe Vessel just wrote a song and this is the way that it all came out, sure. But in my opinion, is that Sleep Token needs to go mainstream. And I don't mean sell out. I mean that they need to be on main radio.
Yeah.
They need to be on places that aren't Spotify. Like, I mean, because they are, but it's like they need to branch out, like the brilliance of Caramel is the fact that, it fits a vibe that everybody can vibe to.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire thing until he gives the true fans what they want. Where he's like, are you like, oh, how does he say it? He says, tell me, did I give you what you came for after the bridge or, during that entire thing? Like, it's such a brilliant song where like it's one of the most passive aggressive things that you could do in that point with that moment. But in the same hand is that, no, dude, he's being our friend still. He's like, here, this is why you're here. I'm not going to disappoint you.
Correct.
And it's so interesting to me.
All he does is give, dude.
All he does is give. God, dude, like, this is
seriously, man, because like that literally just dawned on me because the fact of it's almost like, no, dude, be mad, quit.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean don't, but like it's the fact of the cycle that he has gone through with all of this lore and things that we have already been through. We know he is somebody that does a lot of giving. He does a lot of like he aims to please. He wants to, and not in like a obnoxious way. No. It like look at me or something. But even just like with what you said with this, it's like, dude, all you're doing, you be mad. Be mad, man. And like you said, he's like, no, I'm still, thank you for coming at least and letting me perform my art.
What I'm telling you right now, that hands part, when people do that live now, when he does that live with people now and everything, where it's like, no, so let me see those hands.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh my God, like this adds a whole new level to this band that like lifting hands and doing everything is very synonymous with worship, but it's also stuff that Eminem did. It's also stuff that, big metal bands have done.
Sure.
Like every live person's like, man, see your hands in the air. Like you're taking over an entire like collective of people. This means something.
Yeah.
When you raise your hand, is that no matter for what reason that you were, that you're here or whatever, or maybe that someone else is gone, but you've remained. It's like, no, you're still here.
Yep.
You're still here with me. Even if you did me wrong, you're still here with me. And how interesting is it that someone that has been through what he has been with a narcissist is able to just let it go?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like I don't understand how now in the fact of how he let this go. Oh, I'm sure he was mad.
Oh, absolutely.
But like
there's concert footage of him being angry, and rightfully fucking so.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said before, like, Angry Vessel kind of, I was like, wow, whoa. But, the fact of that, no, he is still human, but the fact of like this song is, it's interesting that he wasn't more angry or said more things, but like you said, it was just in the fact of, nope, just let me see those hands. Thank you for coming, basically, and all this stuff, and I'll give you what you asked for and what you came for, but he shouldn't. He shouldn't. And that's what I mean. Like, quit. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like if you're not
broke
going
the one rule.
You broke the one rule. And all I'm trying to do is just get my art out here for you guys that you claim to so love. Why are you doing this then?
Well, it's especially too is that when you think of Sleep Token being, the group that they are, is that yes, Vessel and 2 are the main songwriters here. I don't take anything away from them or any of the other guys, but it's the fact that it's like, nah, man, this guitarist and this bassist learned these parts that Vessel wrote.
Yeah.
That are not easy, that are, through like the small amount of time that I have delved into trying to learn some of their songs on guitar it makes me so angry.
Really?
It's Ron contacted me at one point and he was like, hey man, let's do a song, from Sleep Token. Let's cover one. Which one do you want to do? And it was The Summoning was what we landed on. And that 8-string riff, dude, is all over the place. Dude, there's so much groove and feel that he has put into it. And something I learned recently too with Caramel when I was figuring out all the chords and I was like, oh shit, I want to build it out and do this, this, and this. Dude, the choruses have different chord progressions, but the melody is the same. It doesn't just repeat. This is an entire journey you go on with chords. He's a genius. He is a fucking genius. It's incredible.
Right.
You know,
And
so it's just like, dude, like I can't remember where I was going with that because I was so on it. But dude, like it jarred me.
you were just saying like not to take away from them, but them being the two main songwriters.
Thank you. That was it. Yeah. So yeah, but that took me on a journey. But no, but it's just the fact that it's like, no, dude, like everybody in that band, like they just dedicate so much of themselves, and it's the fact that it's like, nah, man, like they don't have to do this, but they do. They want to. They love to. You know,
exactly.
That entire band is just an entire like they're just a powerhouse of just talent and nothing less. You know, it's wonderful.
And that's why I said, like, I wonder if they realized how big, like, they were going to be, because I said the other day, I was like, they're like the new Beatles. Mm-hmm. They're like the new Rolling Stones. They're the new Michael Jackson. They're, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they are. And that's not to be a bad thing, but dude, there's footage of them being in like 2018, 2019 in front of, 60 people.
Yeah.
They sold out a 20,000 arena in 20 minutes. Do the math.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that they are so big and that everybody kind of in a sense knows their name. When I go out almost anywhere, I can almost guarantee you there's one person with a Sleep Token something or other on.
Yeah.
Whether it's a sticker on the back of their fucking car, if it's their hat, their shirt, their hoodie, anything. I was at the IX Center buying a hedgehog, apparently, and there was somebody standing directly next to me, and it took, because I couldn't, it was a different style, and it sounds silly, guys. It almost looked like it was Pennywise for a second, like with the...
Okay.
There was something behind the actual logo. And Meg was like, babe, look, Sleep Token. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what that was, but it's just everywhere I go. And
you can't run away.
You can't.
Get away from it.
But it's almost one of those, like, good for fucking you, man. Like, everybody, like, you guys deserve this, because whether it's almost like that whole Ronnie and NF and like all this stuff. You can dislike something and, be like, I don't get into this or whatever. But one thing you cannot say is that there is no talent behind Sleep Token. Jason, our buddy, has stated before, him and his twin brother Chris, Jason is getting a little more into Sleep Token now.
Sure, yeah.
But Chris is like, I can't get into it.
It's not my cup of tea.
It's not. He's like, but they're good. He's like, I know that they're good. And that's what I was like, dude, that's what we need more of. You don't dog on something because you don't understand it or don't like it. You're the fucking weird one out, just like I'm the weird one out that doesn't like the Beatles.
Right.
Millions of fans. I'm over here like, dumb.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's clearly me. So
sometimes look inward. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly. But the fact of just how big they are and how talented they are, like it fits. They should be. They're one of the few bands, and I guess whatever you want to call it, art that I think is well deserving of the amount of stardom, money, whatever you want to say. They deserve this. They put on a grind for a long time. We got to come in when Eden, Take Me Back to Eden was probably about 6 months old, and they were still, I'd say, mediocre at that time. They really started to hit that stride here lately in the last probably 6 months to a year.
Well, even when you look on their channel now for their subscriber count, I mean, they're around, I think, 860. I mean, they're in the 800, thousands.
I just saw it today. They're almost at 1 million.
I remember a time, but I remember a time when they were at like 550.
Yeah,
it's like to jump 330,000 subscribers that fast,
dude.
It's insane.
I remember when we were watching and doing the reactions, they might have had 200,000 to 300,000 views on their videos. all of them are in the millions now.
Yeah.
All of them.
People cannot get enough of them.
And that's just their YouTube.
Actually, did you see their monthly listeners on Spotify?
Oh, God. What is it?
7 million.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, because I think that they said that they're beating out Falling in Reverse. I'm pretty sure. So don't quote me on that. Like, comment below and let me know if that's true or not, because I can't remember. I feel like I read that, but I don't want to misrepresent it. But regardless, no, they hit 7 million. That is ridiculous.
Then that might be true. Somebody told, they were probably talking about on Spotify then. They said something about,
actually, we're going to look
it was now. Like 2 days after Emergence came out. They were like, they gained 2 million followers at the day after Emergence. I was like, what? So that must have been a real, like, probably like listeners.
Sure.
But dude, that's a lot of motherfuckers.
Huh. Okay, so Sleep Token has 7.6 million listeners on Spotify.
Monthly?
Yeah.
God damn.
How much do you think Falling in Reverse has? I'll tell you, but what do you think without
Falling in Reverse probably has, you said, so they have 7.6.
Yep.
4 and some change.
7.5. Dude,
really?
They are neck and neck, man. Yeah.
Okay, I wondered, but I was like, oh, I'll see. I wonder if it was down in the 4s, but okay, dude, no shit.
Makes me kind of wonder. It's like if Ronnie sees that, where he's like, oh, let's see if we can. Maybe I'll drop something. See what happens. Like, you know.
Or you know, people were talking about the fact of like, what if so and so collabed and blah blah blah, and then people were like, well, I was like, well, they don't do features. They don't do collabs. And somebody was like, well, they got what's her face from Bill Murray.
Oh, that's true.
I was like, that is very true. I said, but that's also an instrument, not a vocalist or a lyricist.
I think the thing that would probably end up happening is that if they did do some features on this new album, that it probably would be a female artist.
You think?
I think so. Yeah, just because of the balance of what they do live. They usually have the 3 female vocalists, that type of thing. So I think that could be a good way to where especially in the live setting, you're kind of used to that, where it's like it complements his voice very well. But I don't know, what if somebody crazy like Ivan Moody from fucking Five Finger Death Punch or something? I don't know. That's to me, that's a big ass long shot. But it's one of those where it's like, no, I mean, depending on what his vision is and what he's thinking, if he's like, no, you'd be perfect,
Exactly, because here's the thing: is that he falls. They both Falling in Reverse and Sleep Token for me fall into that category of you could actually damn near have anybody as a feature, and that would, I think, adapt to your genre because you do so many so well.
Yeah.
And that's not because you're messy or you don't know what you're doing. Like I argue it's the opposite. You do know what you're doing. You have so many genres and you're so talented that you can. I think that even with Sleep Token, you could get Ronnie, you could get NF, you could get you probably Tech 9.
I think Tech would probably fit, yeah.
Just because in the fact of the rapping, some of the harmonization, all of those things that happens in Sleep Token, that it's that whole concept of Sleep Token is actually, there's something for everybody. That's what does baffle me sometimes when somebody says, I don't really get into him. I'm like, I really just argue you haven't heard the right song for you yet.
Well, I would take it even a step further to say this is that it's like, I'm not throwing shade by any means, but this is just for me personally, how I view this particular thing is that I think that as far as multi-genre bands, because, I mean, they're not the only ones that do this. There are people that have either taken influence or people that have done some pretty incredible things, here and there. But in my opinion, I think that Sleep Token's multi-genred approach to writing music and performing it is the best. And I think that it's not as jarring as Falling in Reverse. Because I think that there's something good about that it's like you can go straight from super fast rapping straight into metal, where it's like, but it hits you like a brick wall, where it's like, I think that there's more of a fade that happens with Sleep Token.
Sure.
I think that there's a naturality that happens, like even with the blues part at the end of the summoning, where it's like, no, man, like there's like it fits, like, because we were allowed to just dangle for a little while. Now we can drop where we need to.
Yeah.
So it's just, in my opinion, I think that they're the best at it. So it's, I 110% agree, is that it's like, I mean, anybody that would be on that album would be honored. If they have the right mentality, in my opinion. But it's but no, man, it's just, it's fucking wild. And getting this new music and just being reminded of like, damn, like, dude, they still got it. Like, it's like this, they didn't just hit their stride with this trilogy or, with these things.
Sure.
Like, no, dude, even in Arcadia is going to be mind blowing. And maybe it might even be 2 parts. Who knows?
Exactly. And if it is, I'm also wondering, because whether we all know that as far as like a cycle means it never really ends. But like when this eventually ends, how is it going to end and when is that going to happen?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's also, especially with him even saying in Emergence where he's like, I think we're close to the end. Mm-hmm. That's making me wonder, like, okay, like, because is it the 4-record deal that we've heard that they have with RCA, or is it say double and then we'll get 2 like single ones that'll come out? That type of thing. I mean, I don't know. I think that we're in a very fun place that it's like, we just don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen, and having this drop the way that it has just been so cool, just to experience it. And I think that honestly for tonight, I think we focused on Caramel enough.
Oh yeah, I would say we're gonna have to do.
I'll make sure to say it in the post and everything. Is that no, tonight I think is mainly just going to be about Caramel. I think that we needed to get our thoughts out. This was important. It's not only trending but needs to be talked about. Like it's that type of thing. Like this is just. Having a dedicated episode to that, I think, is the right way to land with this, because Tomb, I think we need a full time to be able to really dive into that.
Of course.
We have lots to say. So
yeah, because I mean, like I listened to Tomb today on TikTok and just was going through, the notes that I had that we had taken, and just as a refresher. But I didn't realize actually that you had printed this stuff and that we were actually going to talk about Caramel tonight. So that's why I prepped for it.
Yeah.
But in the fact of it, just be like you said, the newness, I think that, between this and Emergence, I'm trying to focus on not this being the tone of this new album or albums, maybe.
We still got hopefully a lot of theatric left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kind of wrap my head around what we first heard and what else is going to happen after. And if we do get a double disc for any reason, what's going to be the difference in the two? Are we going to get one thing over here and one thing over here? Or is it just we're getting 2 albums?
Sure.
Like we're just getting a longer story right now. Mm-hmm. I would be okay with both.
Right.
Because how interesting would it be if he almost had this like, all right, if you're into this stuff, you're gonna like this album instead. But I mean, I know you'd have a lot to say and you can miss some stuff. But like, if you're more of the metal, you're gonna be over here in this one.
Sure, yeah,
that could be cool. But I also think that that's maybe unrealistic for how his lore would go. Mm-hmm. But it's still fun to think about and kind of, I guess, fantasize until May 9th because like we've officially, I'm pretty sure, have a actual release date.
Yep. And actually, as of right now on Spotify, what it is telling me is that if we go to Sleep Token, no editing, guys, sorry, but I want to get this right. See, Token. Let's see here. Pre-save. We are 29 days, 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 33 seconds away from this album dropping. So I counted that down even to make sure it was on the 33 when I said it. But no, so right now, Emergence and Caramel, and Emergence is track 2, which when we do Even in Arcadia, we're going to do an entire episode based on that when we go through, like, the entire album, like probably in one sitting again, or whether or not we've listened to the shit out of it, on our own or something. And we're like, we just need to talk about it. You know? But that will definitely be happening. But we've got 2 Titans that are left, and it's making me really excited to just keep sharing this journey with you guys, because this is, like, Eric and I were talking a little bit beforehand, and just seeing the people that are showing up, that are engaged, that are loving this is a very big stride for us. And it's really wonderful that you guys are here to just enjoy this with us, and I know that, you know, me personally, it's like I want to be able to do other podcasts that aren't music related, but we're really hitting a stride here. This is just awesome, dude. People are. I just want people engaged. I want to be able to have a good time with everybody. You know,
agreed. And I think there's something to be said about the fact of, no, man, this is not a music podcast, but dude, you can't deny that other podcasts and things and names don't do stuff like this where they focus on a subject or whatever it is for a while. It just so happens to be Sleep Token.
Right.
We've already said a few times we might actually do the same thing with 21 Pilots in the future.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Again, it might not be every single song breakdown as far as that, but it would be a very big topic, maybe 2 to 3 episodes as well.
Yeah.
Because there is just so much. But and the thing is no, we don't need to do every single band or anybody that we do, but I think there are certain people, certain bands, certain things that are like worth sitting down and doing something like this. And Sleep Token, we've said before, guys, is that this was our first time kind of doing this type of research, I guess, as far as sitting down, listening. Yeah, we went deep. We did. And rightfully so. Like we said earlier, they're talented. There's a reason why they are as big as they are. But, you know, 21 Pilots, you know, hell, even NF, I think that those are some other big names that are worthy candidates of things like this because they have something to say. Yeah. They're important. We need them. We needed this. No matter how much it might hurt through a lot of this journey through Sleep Token is, regardless of Caramel, you need it. People need that because it lets people know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
We've said before with like NF and stuff where you almost sometimes don't know how to word certain things. Sometimes they're your voice. And this is where it helps people. Hurting does help sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that with art and lyrics and things like this in music, that's where it actually does. Having sad songs and sad moments that you re-listen to are part of healing processes for people.
I honestly, it makes me think about what John Bernthal said when he said pain is an adhesive. When you've been through it, you can connect to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. And it's just that, you know, with Vessel, he has just gone through a lot of really traumatic things, I think, for one human being, no matter if it was, you know, just a relationship or not. I think that everything that has been said so far is where not even to just expose the man, like, man, I would just, if he drinks, like, can I just buy you a beer, man? Like, I'll listen. And not because you're Vessel. Like, honestly, man, like, I'd listen.
So do you need someone to talk to?
Do you need someone to talk to?
Like, it's like, just have that reminder of like, no, man, everything's going to be all right. Man.
Yeah.
Just talk through it. Like, no matter what's going on, man, there's an end to it. You know, there's an end that's positive. You know?
And how fitting is the fact of, but just one of those like, no, man, like, are you really okay? How are you? You know, it's one of those things where I wonder when the last time that's really been asked to him.
Right.
You know, it's just like everybody sees the person on stage, you know, but no, man, how are you? Right. Because this has got to be taking such a toll before we got Caramel.
Right.
Reliving something as this, like lore, whatever, like, sorry guys, lore is the only way I know how to put it, but like this journey that we've been on is I think is a wound itself. You have to write this, and then you have to sing it every night.
Dude, the videos of him at the end of, well, actually, I think it's one video, but seeing him on stage when the show concludes and he just has his hands folded and he's just sobbing. Like, thank you for being here.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for giving a shit. Like, dude, like, I think that's the thing that we all lack a lot is that, you know, it's like when we listen to our music where it's like, I mean, there's great musicians out there, but damn it, dude, like with what he's doing, like he's shown us the deepest parts of himself, and especially with what we'll get into with Eden, with like, you know, some symbolism that's questionable and different things. Like he has been very personal.
Yeah.
Very personal. And it's It's rough, man. Like it's hard to think of, somebody that we don't even know, but I know for a fact that, as someone who has been through similar things or stuff that we can relate to, it's like, no, man, like we all feel like friends where it's like, no, man, I got you. I get it.
Yeah.
You're out of it too. Cool. How did you escape it? I want to hear your story.
Right.
It's like that type of thing. Like, dude, like he's our very long distance, 7, levels of Kevin Bacon friend. I'm not trying to be weird about it, but it's like, I think that's something where like it allows us to have community and to like, to be able to hurt together and like, see me in very much like what we're going to get into with Tomb and, the fact that it's like, nah, man, if this is how it's going to be, let's do this together.
Yep.
That's more music video based than it is song, but dude, like, I respect the hell out of the dude. I'm so relieved that we get to listen to it freely, whether it is a lot or if it's a little, that it's no longer a burden of like,
right.
Oh my God, I can't take this anymore. Because I had a couple of times that I almost had this moment of like, well, it was like being on Spotify and be like, no, get the fuck out of there. Like, it's like stop it. Like,
right, man.
Like, you're gonna ruin it for yourself, and waiting for it was one of the best pleasures we've had on this channel.
Oh, yeah.
On Riker, on the channel, being able to experience something that's just so monumental and just so incredible.
Agreed.
I'm stunned. I'm blown away, and I can't wait to hear what the other 8 songs are going to be all about.
Right.
So
right.
I know we might be getting at least a heavy one because we've gotten God's Vor and different things where it's like, okay, like maybe he'll do that again for this one, but
I'm sure we'll get something. Yeah.
Something that will probably take, more so the balance of being like, oh, this one's just ferocious, but it's the metalhead in me that wants that. So, but
no, I guess probably my last thing is just to say is that, going back to earlier stating, apologize if even trying to talk in code and stuff is even kind of like I said, I almost feel bad even for doing that, and even on this episode that we were doing earlier, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, it makes me feel awkward. So I apologize. And I know that I think we don't do anything as on purpose.
No.
And, and never even in the future, if anything did or was said, it wouldn't be in a vindictive way. But this is just very unfortunate. So hopefully we don't get anything. Hopefully we don't get scolded again. Man, I don't know if honestly, I can take that.
I think that we have danced in this minefield, not even taking that from Caramel, I promise. That's no pun intended with it, but no, man, I think we've done this dance properly, and rest assured that the next Sleep Token episode that we do will be about the music and about the journey that we are going to be continuing to talk about, because my God, like this
is near and dear to us.
Dude, it's so special to us, and it's one of those that like I have had times I've even woken up and listened to them immediately, it's like that type of thing, but We've been so fucking blessed to be able to experience this, and I think that it's one of those that, in my personal opinion, is that when you look at it as kind of my last thoughts or whatever is when he says, the whole, but let me see those hands, is that, dude, like he turned the other cheek, he let it go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, this may be sacrilegious to say, but I'm going to say it here. That's one of the most Christ-like things I've ever seen.
Sure.
That is.
I know what you mean.
That is one of the most selfless things I've ever seen. That is one of the most golden rule things I've ever seen. That is one of the most selfless things I think that a person with a lot of power and a lot of creative ability to be able to whoop some ass if he wanted to chose to just let it go.
Yep.
Just let it go.
That's what I'm saying. Why? Why did you let it go?
I think it's probably because he loves his music more,
I know. That's the part of me. Yeah, exactly.
It's intense. But nevertheless, guys, I think this is where we're going to wrap it up here. But I'm just excited to be able to continue on with this, on this journey with you guys, and to be able to just talk about just fun stuff, and just thank you guys for being here. Thank you for just experiencing this with us. And Eric, any final thoughts before we officially sign off until we talk about Tomb?
Apologize to him right now. I'm sorry, Vessel.
That's awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Adios.